Hey now.
You're a rock star.
They're doing the same one.
You
Gotta come up with your own catchphase, all right? You can't
know,
still
yeah, before we get sued,
Larry Sanders and
How about now? Hey.
Just mix it around. I like it. That's probably copyright protected, or like it's not copyright protected. You know, it's a parody at that point.
Start making
Yeah,
t-shirts
Should
of
be-
it.
I think we should be okay, guys.
Mhm.
All
I
right,
don't want to get
guys.
sued by Howard Stern or Jeffrey Tambor, honestly, because Howard Stern uses that now. That's how he opens his radio show. He goes, "Hey now."
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he
I have no idea.
I feel like Howard would sue me for that, so I'll be careful, even though he took it too.
I would
but-
believe anyone in America's Got Talent would sue anyone for anything. So yeah, I believe it honestly.
So today's movie could have potentially been Megalopolis, and thank God it wasn't. Honestly, I think we
Yeah.
might have enjoyed this one
Mob
more.
Rule decided on that one, and
Yeah.
Mob Rule decided no. I'm
Right.
just kidding.
Because I'm only going to see that shit in IMAX, and like that shit plays like at midnight basically in Arizona.
Really?
So like it was like 9-10 o'clock showing, and only one a day at the
I
IMAX.
just have a feeling that there's actually no reason to watch it in IMAX.
Yeah, he made it with IMAX cameras.
Okay, but I mean, is it a very actiony movie? Because if not, it's kind of like.
Is it about the action or
boring.
just the
I mean, like
look?
like IMAX in a non-action scene. It's like, oh wow, that house looks more HD than fucking normal. Like, who fucking cares?
I've seen some cool science like Planet Earth kind of things in IMAX before.
Yeah, but that's
neat.
also real. You know,
I think everybody in Phoenix took a field trip there to watch some type of like.
Exactly.
Did you watch the dinosaur movie?
That sounds familiar.
yeah,
It was like a
yeah.
dinosaur documentary
Sounds
thing.
familiar.
Yeah, we went to the theater to go watch it. What was it? It
was in
like,
3D.
Yeah, so we saw a dinosaur thing in 3D, and then the other one was just like a brief history of like Greece or Roman or something like that.
Yeah,
Bro, that Greece one was mad boring as a fucking kid.
right.
Dude.
I honestly don't even remember that.
So much of it was just like pottery and like what stories that was told through pottery, and we're like 10. We're like, we don't fucking care. Like,
But it's an
bring
IMAX.
bring out the dinosaurs, you know?
Yeah, the dinosaur one was so much better.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't want to see Adam
Probably doesn't
Driver's stupid dumb face and full IMAX, dude.
Yeah, so you got to tell the audience what's this beef with Adam Driver?
Yeah, why do you hate Adam
Adam
Driver so
Driver?
much, Bentley?
Yeah.
I don't
is it
know.
just
It's
his
the
face?
Star Wars,
Is it his
honestly.
face?
It's
Is it his
Kylo
voice?
Ren. I just target all my hatred towards Star Wars towards him.
Is he the worst thing in Star Wars, though?
Kylo Ren ain't the best thing in that. I don't know.
I mean,
There is no
yeah,
best
that's
thing.
not without, you don't need to debate anyone on that.
And, like
right?
I just feel like he always has like this like monotone delivery with all of his movies.
Okay.
Like he
So do
just
you
kind of
think
like
Adam
has this
Driver-
low, deep voice.
Okay,
He's
so you know how
always
I
talking
said,
like this.
you know how I said Denzel is Denzel in all his movies?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the same with Adam Driver? Like, does he just basically play the same character?
Yeah, and he does this thing where he like really tries to not care while he's acting. Kind of like he just acts kind of like just bored.
Okay.
Basically, I don't know.
Okay.
Just irks me a little bit.
It took. I don't hate him, but I try to watch that show Girls on HBO. I don't know if you guys
That's
ever
his
seen that show.
the first thing I feel like he
Yeah,
did.
I think he got like a couple movies before that, but that was like his regular thing that he was doing. And his character is so unlikable, but I guess that's the point. And he played it so well, so it made me not like him in anything for a while. And then I realized like, oh, that was the point of the character. I'm supposed to hate him. But I think I'm supposed to hate all the characters because they're literally terrible. Especially Lena Dunham's character. She's like one of the worst fucking main characters in a TV series I've ever seen before.
Yeah, Adam
I couldn't
Driver
get
is
through it.
probably one of the main reasons I wouldn't want to see Megalopolis. Like even with all the reviews, he's probably like the worst thing about
I
it.
keep wanting to call it Metropolis.
Metropolis.
And I have to remind myself, no, that's
Which
where
is an actual
that's
word.
where Superman lives. Yeah, that's not.
You're thinking
Megalopolis.
Yeah, Megalopolis is what you say when you have a
Megalopolis.
stroke. Yeah.
Megalopolis.
Megalopolis.
Well, Metropolis is also a movie. Fritz Lang.
Yeah, Fritz Lang. It's like one of the
Okay.
first ones, like 1920s or so.
You know
So
what I
that's
do
a
like?
masterpiece.
Metalocalypse.
Metalocalypse.
See, that's a good one. I'd rather watch that than Megapolis or whatever.
Enough about the movie we didn't watch.
Oh, is that not what we're doing? Okay.
Bentley, this week. Well, first of all, we got
Three hacks in a movie.
Three hacks. This
Three
is
hacks in a movie. I'm Bentley.
Yeah, I'm Emilio.
and I'm RJ.
Yeah, and today's movie, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, which is technically like it's like a weird parody sequel kind of this other movie called Valley of the Dolls.
Okay. Have
which
you
is kind of
seen
confusing.
Valley of the Dolls?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Which is, I think, a more earnest movie.
You really wanted to throw that word in there today. Huh?
That's more of a more serious,
Oh my God,
like,
real quick, that reminded
actual
me.
movie.
So me and RJ were watching. What fucking YouTube trailer did we watch today? And then we're like, oh, did fucking Bentley comment on this?
Oh, that was like a couple days ago, I want to say, but
No, that was today, dude.
I might have.
Or yesterday. No, it had to be yesterday.
okay, but it wasn't today.
Yeah, it wasn't today. My bad. It was yesterday.
Yeah, I don't remember, but the comments on the trailer, it said something about like dilapidated, something, but it was something else that we were also talking about recently. I just can't remember what it was right now.
Yeah.
But I was like, is that Bentley's like burner account? His YouTube burner account?
It was a new movie trailer for something.
Was it Big Chungus 42069? that's my main account. So.
Big Chungus, bro.
No, yeah, but yeah, I was just reading the comments because sometimes the comments are the best part. And then RJ's just like, is that fucking Bentley's burner account? And we're like, what? And then I was like, yeah, because it said something about like dilapidated
Was it a David
buildings or
Fincher
something.
trailer?
No, it wasn't. I wish David Fincher was releasing something new. No, damn, it's probably gonna drive me crazy if I can't fucking remember it. Anyways, hopefully it'll come back to us later. I don't want to.
Well, we already said the word, so, and luckily there's nothing dilapidated in this movie I could think of. So
This movie was
we got it out of the way right there.
This movie was very
There you go.
groovy.
Yeah, very groovy, very hip, and with the kids.
It was definitely a product of its time.
Yeah, it's 1970, but think of it more of a 1960s movie for sure. It's more of that culture.
So beyond the Valley of the Dolls, right?
Most
That's what it's called?
beyond
Okay,
the Valley of the Dolls. Most interesting thing about it probably is that it's written by Roger Ebert.
the most famous movie critic of all time.
Yeah,
essentially.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, can't really think of any other one.
Red Letter Media.
Red Letter Media,
Yeah,
not
the
the
guys from
modern
Red Letter
ones.
Media, essentially.
But this movie is you like know Roger Ebert, and he's like this big movie critic, like, and he's like, oh,
And he's super critical
He
of
can be-
every
yes.
movie he sees. Yeah.
especially like Adam Sandler. I've noticed he has like a stick up his ass with Adam Sandler movies.
Oh, man.
We were
Because
just looking up some of his harshest reviews.
Oh, right. Yep.
And the Freddy Got Fingered one was really good because it was like Freddy Got Fingered isn't the bottom of the barrel. It's not
Below the
it's not
bottom of the
below the bottom of the barrel. It
Yeah.
doesn't even deserve to be in the same sentence as the barrel.
Yeah, that's right.
which is ironic because he says the word barrel 3 times in
Right.
relation to the movie. So
Yeah, I just love the idea of like when he's like writing his reviews and he's like coming up with this barrel line. He's like, that was good. Like, you know, he's just like, oh yeah, we're definitely keeping that one in.
that's perfect.
Yeah, no, it's so funny that a movie critic makes such a. I don't even know how to describe this movie. I just want to automatically go to the word ridiculous. Like there's so many ridiculous things about it, but it's hilarious.
This movie's what happens when a movie critic makes a movie. Like movie critics spend so much time criticizing movies, but this is what you get when you actually get one of these
Yeah.
guys like sitting behind the camera.
He literally went with the whole like, you know what, I can do it, and I can do it better. Watch, and then he comes out with this. Essentially, I don't know.
It's classified on Wikipedia as a satirical musical melodrama.
So it's
Wow,
satirizing
okay.
the 60s, perhaps. It's
I
like
guess.
so 60s that it's kind of making fun of
That's
it.
probably a really good way to describe it, put it in certain genres or whatever. Would you say that's what?
Satirical musical melodrama.
Yeah, it is very much all those things.
Yeah, because there's some scenes where it was very like soap opera esque.
Oh,
I
yeah,
literally said that
definitely.
at
They
one point
start-
in the movie. I was just like, I feel like I'm in a soap opera.
Yeah,
right.
right.
They
Yeah.
bring in the sappy piano. Their like faces are like 2 millimeters apart, like while they're talking to each other.
Yep.
in a lot of scenes.
Yeah, there's a lot of musical numbers as well.
The
Yeah,
music was
definitely.
fantastic though.
It was some good music.
Yeah,
It's all pretty much original. I feel like
I was
all made
wondering,
for
'cause
the
some of those songs
movie.
are so good that I can't imagine that whoever wrote those songs was like just did it for the movie. Like
Right.
it's such a movie that I don't think was ever supposed to be a big release. I don't know if it was supposed to be a big release or whatever, but
Yeah, the budget's pretty low.
Yeah, and it got an X rating.
oh, okay,
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And
Yeah.
it's also filled with like no-name actors too. Like I don't know any of these people.
I
Yeah.
actually have the disc in my hands, and in modern times, it's rated NC-17
Yeah,
on this,
Right.
which I
that
didn't
would make
know.
sense. Yeah,
I think they stopped doing the X rating.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think we've
no.
had one of those in forever.
Yeah, before Showgirls came out sometime.
Bentley's second favorite movie of all time, next to Beyond the Valley of the
Dude, I like campy movies, honestly, and this one definitely brings the camp.
I get it, man. Sometimes it's just fun, dude. It's one of these. This is one of those movies that's a perfect example of just don't take it too seriously, and you can actually enjoy your hour 49 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't have to have this very like deep meaning to it. Just were you enjoy? Did you enjoy it? Were you?
I did, dude. I thought it was funny. Like I found myself laughing multiple times, even when I'm sure I wasn't supposed to be.
Right.
But, you know,
I enjoyed it.
I just genuinely enjoyed it. Yeah,
it's a very like so bad it's good kind of thing in a lot of parts. Like I'd say the worst thing about it's the dialogue is like so terrible and like not realistic the way that people talk to each other.
Do you want to give your synopsis of it real quick?
Synopsisize it.
All right. It's kind of hard, so I'm going to read what the back of this thing says here because I have it. The actual physical.
I still don't know what the plot of the movie is, and I just watched it.
So in 1970, this is actually just an explanation of the thing. 20th Century Fox, which is kind of crazy because a big blockbuster like studio funded this movie, and you would not think so, especially in like the 60s, that they would do that. But yeah, 20th Century Fox, impressed by the visual zing, king of the nudies, Russ Meyer, the director, had been bringing to bargain basement exploitation fare, handed the director a studio budget and the title to one of its biggest hits, Valley of the Dolls. With a satirical screenplay by Roger Ebert, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls follows three young female rockers going to Hollywood and hell-bent 60s style under the spell of a flamboyant producer whose decadent bashes showcase Meyer's trademark libidinal exuberance. That was a hard word to say. Transgressive and outrageous, this big studio version of a debaucherous midnight movie, whatever, is an addictively entertaining romp from one of cinema's great outsider artists. So that's really just more of an explanation of the...
That is the Criterion Collection synopsis of it.
I still don't understand the movie.
I didn't know. I don't know what I just said.
I think the only plot point we got in that movie, in that whole thing, was we're following three female rockers, and there is a debaucherous producer.
Flamboyant.
Very flamboyant.
And then that was kind of
the
it.
most.
And then, I mean, I guess that technically is the story, though, right?
Yeah. So three female rockers are in a band together called the Carrie Fever.
It's the Kelly Affair.
Kelly Affair. Because the lead singer's name is Kelly. Yeah. And she's our main character. She's a singer. And then you have Pet, who's a drummer, short for like Patricia or Petronella. Yeah. Then you got Carrie? Casey.
Yeah.
Who's the bassist. And
she was the hottest one.
Casey was my favorite one.
Yeah, she was the hottest one?
Yeah, Casey was my favorite one, honestly.
Yeah, she was my favorite too.
Kelly had the bangs though, so I don't know, guys. But
bro, that girl didn't blink once that whole fucking movie. I swear to God, dude. I kept staring at her, especially when we first 10, 15 minutes of the movie, there was so many close-ups of her face. And I just kept thinking, yo, has she blinked yet? And then also real quick on the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie, the fucking editing is so I don't know.
Today it's fast.
I don't know if disorienting is the right word, but I thought it was gonna give me a headache. I swear, dude. Like how many times it cut between three different people, like three people are having a conversation, and it literally keeps switching every 3 to 5 seconds for each person. And I was like, yo, man, there's nothing wrong with just one shot with all three of them in it and give them a solid, I don't know, 15 to 30 seconds of them just talking. But
yeah,
the whole switching back and forth was very just like, oh,
it's very fast. The whole movie.
I really thought I was gonna get a headache. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it went off for a while too. Like I don't know how long exactly, but it felt like
maybe we just got used to it. It just kept going the whole movie. I feel like, but we just got used to it after a certain point.
I think I blacked out somewhere in that movie.
I can't think of it for a second because I know in original or in like old movies, there used to be really, really long takes.
Yeah.
Because editing back then was a lot harder, and then it would just take a lot more to do something like that.
And then with commercials and stuff, people started doing fast editing, and then it incorporated itself into like movies and stuff.
Okay.
I feel like
I could see something like that. Yeah,
I've heard people say that before.
But yeah, man, this I don't know. Roger Ebert is like, oh, I'm tired of these long takes or whatever. I'm gonna do the opposite essentially. And Jesus, man, those quick short takes. I was like, Oh my god! Like, can you please slow down, dude? But like I was on the teacup rides at fucking Disneyland, man.
You can tell it was like probably some producer there was like, we need to make it fast for the kids. The kids want the rock music fast. They want everything's fast. All right. And
I feel like you're describing someone now.
Yeah,
with
it's
like
the same today,
basically,
man. With
yeah,
that brain rot, they're
with-
just scrolling through
with-
TikToks.
with
Like,
kids fucking self-diagnosed ADHD and shit.
Dude, I attest that the '60s was way more brain rotty than today. Honestly, I feel like
That'd be an interesting
back then
conversation
because they were
to go
also
to, honestly.
on way more drugs too, and
Well, no, I mean, more kids are on pharmaceuticals now
That's
than
true,
ever.
but
So.
they're on Adderall and they're like
drugs. You know?
scrolling Wikipedia.
yeah, and they brought
reading.
back LSD in like a big way, man. People are microdosing now.
Yeah, buying
Oh,
it
that's true,
with
yeah.
Dogecoin.
But yeah, so this movie,
Very campy.
very campy. Some scenes just had over the top acting. Just oh my god, I don't know. It's
Acting's
just so
god
dramatic.
awful,
Yeah, it's so
honestly.
dramatic. But like not
Yeah.
just so dramatic, but just overly dramatic. And again, there are just certain parts where you just feel like you're in a soap opera because of the deliveries and the acting. Yeah, dude. But it's
And-
funny, man. Like if you don't take it seriously, it's a pretty funny ride. I don't know if that was Roger's attempt essentially, but that's
I think
kinda
he's
what I got out of it.
trying to make a parody of the Valley of the Dolls. So
Yeah.
if-
It does
maybe
seem a little
we should watch that at
satirical,
some
right?
point. That'd
Yeah,
be pretty
like, yeah.
actually good, I think.
I would be curious to see Valley of the Dolls just
Mm-hmm.
to see like if this is a good parody or a good satirical version of that movie.
I nothing about this movie strikes me like they were trying to make anything serious, you know, especially with the ending and like that like big plot twist at the end.
God, dude.
There's
One of my
nothing
favorite-
serious.
One of my favorite endings in any film ever.
Yeah,
Man. That shit
it's-
was so fucking funny.
That plot twist goes up there with like Luke, I am your father, and all those.
Yeah, so I mean, this movie, I think it's kind of your typical, almost what was the term we used? A cautionary tale, right? It's because it's about three girl rockers and their manager, and they're all pretty innocent for the most part, right? Like they're kind of whatever, in the beginning.
They're still hippies in the 60s.
Yeah, they're
but-
hippies.
Yeah, they're smoking their weed,
Just
hitting their
smoking their
acid,
grass.
Yeah,
hitting their
like
grass,
the worst they've done
making
is,
it.
Yeah, the worst they've done is smoke grass essentially at that point.
They were doing LSD in it, right? In the very
that was
beginning.
later,
Yeah,
right?
that was
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah,
though.
that was
I think
later.
originally that's like from the start. It was just grass.
Yeah, they were just
as they
smoking
said.
grass, And then they
As the
meet
cool
the
kids said.
flamboyant producer that they all call
Z-Man.
Z-Man. Yeah.
Well, they go out to Hollywood from like I think Texas or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know where.
I don't remember where the state started. I know we saw them drive through New Mexico and Arizona. So
It definitely
might-
showed Texas as well, but I don't know where they originally started at.
Okay, I gotcha. It probably did start in Texas though.
But yeah, anyway, so
Yeah.
They
So-
they go to California to make it or whatever in the
Yeah,
scene.
just like every other band needed to. At
And
that
like
point.
there's some weird thing about like some inheritance claim or something that I couldn't really follow too much, to be honest.
There's something
'cause-
about the lead singer. She has an aunt who I guess already lives in
Yeah.
LA, right?
Aunt
then-
Susan, I believe.
Yeah. I don't think there was
Who has
anything
a
about
lawyer.
that. She had claim to a money. Yeah, I got kind of lost at that. But also that story took a pretty big backseat. Like
Yeah.
they just kind of threw it in the back, and then it would come up every once in a while. But there was no, I don't know. There was nothing serious to it. It does say the four travel to LA to find Kelly's estranged aunt Susan Lake, heiress to a family fortune. So Susan is an heiress to the family fortune. After Susan promises Kelly a third of her inheritance, Porter Hall, her sleazy financial advisor, discredits Kelly as a hippie to dissuade Susan from dividing the fortune he secretly wants to embezzle. Yeah, that was kind of obvious that he's kind of wanted to keep the money for himself.
Yeah, this guy seems like a very he tries to be like a posh, like fancy guy, but like he's kind of a big sleazeball.
Dude, it's just he's that
In
creepy
real life.
old guy at the party, essentially.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
It was a bunch of 20-something hippies, and then you see this old white-haired lawyer.
yeah.
Porter Hall was his name.
Yeah, it's so funny because
Old man.
there was actual old creepy people, but he was viewed as the creepiest because he's like a greedy capitalist kind
Yeah,
of.
he's a suit, man.
And it's like, yeah, you're just a suit, you know.
But yeah, those other old people are freaks. They don't have teeth, and they're
Yeah.
like they're
Okay,
wearing
so the super
Hindu
old
shit.
the super old lady with the bright red hair, orange
Right.
hair,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it was. You know who that reminded me of? And I feel like this character is now modeled after her. You remember from Not Another Teen Movie how there was that old lady who went undercover as a
Yeah.
as a student to be a journalist or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
I swear to God, she was modeled after that character, dude. She reminded me. I just couldn't get that image out of my head. She just looks like her. So if anyone's who's seen that Another Teen Movie and you know the older student I'm talking about, that's basically what she looked like. Oh,
It's an homage.
Crazier, actually. She looked pretty fucking insane.
Those are my favorite characters in the movie, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, best parts.
Man, I don't know who my favorite character is besides
Z-Man.
Casey, right?
Z-Man is a pretty great character.
Z-Man
honestly.
was a wild character. He was the wild card.
I don't even know.
He was the flamboyant record producer or whatever, rock producer.
Top 10 movie villains of all time.
He was a
good
pretty
guys gone bad.
He seems to be a pretty good producer too, right? Because he really did make them famous. He blew them up. I like how he also just took over the band, but he just renamed them then and there. Like,
right.
The band's name was the Kelly Affair, and he's just like, and now you're the Carrie Nations, whatever that fucking means.
Yeah, he said it like it was supposed to mean something.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be just like a reference at the time, like something that was going on. But obviously, I don't fucking know what was happening.
Going all across the nation.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Kelly affair was too like old school or something.
Yeah, because he said, "Oh, you might as well call them the Haircuts or whatever."
Yeah.
Which to be fair, does really sound like a band from the '50s. How everything was like the Animals and the Beatles.
The Haircuts.
Yeah, Haircuts. That's a good name, though. Honestly,
the Beach Boys. Yeah, the Haircut. Yeah, it really did sound like a band from the '50s.
And yeah, I kind of thought at first that Z-Man almost became their manager because they originally have a manager at the beginning of the movie. He's kind of this timid guy who like isn't really helping him that much. He has a crush on the lead singer, Kelly.
Well, they were like together. They were making out and stuff. So it does seem that they were actually in a relationship.
Yeah, but do you think she was taking it seriously? Maybe she was just kind of like floating
around
a little bit.
Again, like a big part of the movie is that they finally start seeing Hollywood for what, or they basically become part of Hollywood. When Z-Man takes them under the wing, and then they all just kind of become. What do they say? Like some people are pill freaks, some people are like whatever alcohol freaks, grass freaks, drinks freaks, whatever. There's something freaks essentially. So they all become something. They either get just numbed by drugs or just become whores essentially. Yeah. And even fucking the financial advisor Porter. He goes like, the virgin whore or whatever. And I'm like, what a fucking statement that is, Yeah, I think it's just a cautionary. It's supposed to be a cautionary tale, but also just whatever satirical, just kind of satirizing what it means to be in Hollywood, I guess, or trying to make it in Hollywood in the music industry.
It's satirizing the Hollywood, rock star life, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely not just like, oh yeah, you're gonna be famous, people are gonna love you, and you're gonna go to these cool parties. It's like, no, you're gonna be a fucking drug whore, and people are gonna pass you around. You're gonna sell your morals and your values, and you're gonna lose people and blah blah blah. And I'm like, hey, way to call it out.
How much you say? 3 million? Sure.
Yeah, right. I know. She even gets greedy at one point. Our main character. She's like, a third. I should be getting half.
A third of the inheritance.
Yeah. But she says, I should be getting half. Or she says like $500,000 or something like that because what's his face starts whispering into her ear that she deserves more. Lance Rock. There we go.
Or fuck boy.
Yeah. Which I just kept thinking like, God, that's such a porn star name. Like Lance Rock.
Yeah,
well, it's too porn starry. Like you either have Lance in your name or you have Rock in your name, but you shouldn't have both.
Yeah, apparently he was supposed to be a gigolo in the movie.
Oh, really?
Which I could see that he was like at first he was with that the older like affluent lady kind of.
That's right.
I just thought he was just like a party boy, like going from hoe to hoe.
Yeah, I guess he was getting paid for it, man.
Yeah.
That makes sense, though. Actually,
that does make more sense. Yeah, because then he
was a Z-Man too. That's probably why he was like with Z-Man and just didn't dip. Because
he said something about like, the money was too good. Or,
that makes sense.
That does make sense. Because later we see when he gets invited to the final party, he's back in bed with that really old lady, and he's like, ugh, like he just looks fucking disgusted. And then when he goes to the party and Z-Man keeps obviously like pursuing him. He's like, oh, what I do for bread, and I was like, oh,
right,
yeah. So that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, he's a manhood.
Yeah, they never say so though, huh? Maybe I just missed it, but
he reminded me of someone, but then I started thinking like I think he reminds me of Bowie, kind of like David Bowie a little bit, honestly. Like his face and his hair.
Yeah, there's something about his facial structure. He definitely looked familiar.
Yeah,
I was thinking like
another
Luke,
actor.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker or something. Honestly,
You
looking
like
at
a
him.
Mark Hamill in the
A little
70s?
bit, yeah, like a porn star Mark Hamill.
Now, porn star Mark Hamill, that sounds about right. So there was something I noticed about the movie, and I wonder if Roger
Mark Hamill toe. Sorry.
You just really had to get that one out there. Right?
Yeah,
He's like,
I just while I still could.
I got you. So there was something I noticed about the movie, and I don't know if Roger Ebert did this on purpose or to try to say anything. Because again, this isn't a movie that's supposed to be deep by any means, but I thought it was funny / interesting that the only girl's tits that we didn't see is the porn star.
We didn't see her tits.
Are you sure about
She
that?
was the only one. I
What
swear.
about the toothless old lady?
Been her, right? Okay, yeah.
Thank God.
Okay, anyone's tits who you wanted to see.
I don't think you saw the aunts, Kelly's aunts. She wasn't bad.
Oh shit. Okay, so again, remember I did mix up who Kelly's aunt was towards the end because I
Right.
could have sworn she was one of the lesbians. Or
No, she was
whatever.
not. She was
Okay.
not Roxanne, and she was not Casey.
Roxanne. There we go. My bad. Okay, yeah. So you see like 2 people, but you literally see everyone, including like the 3 main characters or
Yeah.
whatever. Like you see like everyone's fucking tits in this movie except for the porn star, and I guess Suzanne, whatever.
Big part of it being a Russ Meyer movie, and not only is it tits, but they're all like just perfect. Like
Dude,
nobody has like one boob kind of bigger than the other. It's like they're all like.
And the thing is, like, so I don't know, because I definitely didn't think plastic surgery was good at all back then. So they all seem pretty natural, and I'm like, I don't know how he got so many like double D to triple D cups in a single film, but basically everyone in this movie was fucking stacked.
Well,
And-
Playboy Mansion.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2 of the 3. I couldn't find too much information on Petronella,
okay.
but Kelly and Casey were both Playgirl or
Playboy models.
Playboy models. There you go. Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Playmates.
Yeah.
There you go.
I assume there's a lot of models in this movie, a lot of like maybe even porn stars. Like maybe
Yeah.
there's a lady who plays a porn star in this movie. And
Yeah.
I would guess
And-
she might have been a real porn star in real life.
And
honestly.
she's the one who didn't show any nudity.
She
But
was
you said
she was married to Russ Meyer.
Yeah, but she was married to
True.
the director.
That's
so,
true.
Yeah, he probably maybe they don't want to show. I don't know. I've never seen any of Russ's other movies, so I don't know if he shows. He probably puts his wife in his other movies too.
Yeah,
He probably does. Do
I was
something
looking
like
at her
that.
filmography.
Yeah.
She was in a bunch of his stuff.
Okay, yeah. See, that makes sense then.
She's like the girl in Lestrada with Fellini. You know, it's like exactly the same thing. Okay.
In the sense of what?
Like you know the girl in Lestrada, she's like the clown girl.
You didn't watch
Fellini,
No,
Lestrada.
I don't watch Lestrada. But
Yeah.
Someone has to watch it.
Fellini married her in real life, and but they
okay.
had a very long-lasting relationship actually,
Oh.
because Fellini is a good guy.
It kind of reminds me. Yeah, it's kind of similar. I mean, not that you guys watch or anything, but the creator of One Piece, right? Like literally, one of the main characters he draws, her name is Nami, and then at a anime convention, he met a girl who was cosplaying her, and he married that girl because to him, that's like. She basically embodied her. Like,
That's his muse.
He made the character and then met his wife as she was portraying him, like just at a comic book.
He was manifesting her.
He manifested her.
Manifested
essentially.
her, basically.
He fucking did it, dude. And they've been together ever since. I think it's been like 20 years. Or
Dude, I bet she like cosplays like in the bedroom like as that character.
I'm sure they do so much shit, but yeah, that's just something that it reminds me of.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then I just found out for
Beautiful.
our wrestling fans out there that Triple H and Stephanie McMahon had a fake relationship in the series. Like there was a storyline where they were in a relationship, and then they ended up getting married in real life.
Yeah.
Bro, that's like the most American love story I've ever heard, dude.
Was it really a fake relationship? I
Yeah,
thought it was like
it was
maybe
a
a real
storyline.
one, and they just kind of incorporated it.
Because Triple H was actually dating China at the
Oh.
time when he was doing the storyline with Stephanie.
Okay. In the story, he was dating China.
No,
Or
he
in
was
real life?
he was real life dating China.
Oh,
but storyline
okay.
it was on TV. It was Stephanie.
Stephanie.
and then Vince do a storyline where he was having an affair, and then like it might have actually been real too.
There was
Like
one
that
where
affair?
he like had an affair with like Trish Stratus.
Trish Stratus?
essentially. And then and he got his like wife involved. Like there was a point where like she poisoned Trish Stratus and she's like in a wheelchair. And then he starts having like an affair in front of her and shit.
Yeah, Trish Stratus was drugging Vince McMahon's wife.
Oh my
Linda.
god.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Early days.
Well, that's writing, dude. That's
Yeah,
totally
you got to
right.
watch, everybody out there, you got to watch the Mr. McMahon documentary on Netflix.
It was-
Wrestling fan or not, it's
Yeah.
very entertaining just to see the character that he portrayed. And it was like
Yeah.
literally the greatest villain in wrestling history.
He is the heel, bro. He is the heel of the industry.
Yeah,
essentially.
and then in more recent times, it's
His real life
it
is
seems
the
like
villain.
he's becoming a real villain, or like he was a real villain behind
Yeah.
the scenes the entire time.
Like
but-
his character on the stage is more of a nice guy than his actual self or something.
right?
Yeah, they
and
get-
as someone who watched wrestling for so many years and seeing his character on screen, it's like I'm really not that surprised if all this is true.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right.
They-
Those texts, dude, are fucking nuts.
Oh,
honestly,
yeah.
when you read through them, it's
Yeah.
like, what the?
That also doesn't
Fuck.
surprise me for like a billionaire though. Like I feel like all billionaires are into weird shit like that. It all has to come down to a power play somehow.
Mm.
But yeah, no, that was a great series. As a person who just casually watched wrestling back in the day, I found it very informative and just absolutely insane. But also a really cool story about like a guy who kind of like came from nothing to creating $1 billion empire, even though he did like so much fucked up shit.
Right.
On the way there, but you know.
I love wrestling because it's like a very campy thing that like macho men can enjoy. Like,
Yeah, dude, it is. I think South Park did it best when they did their wrestling episode.
It's a male soap opera.
Yeah, it is a male soap
soap
opera. It
opera,
is very
yeah.
much a male soap opera with like there's theatrics, there's there's theatrics, there's athletics, there's
the costumes are
compels-
pretty like
yeah.
colorful and rhinestoney sometimes.
The pageantry of it all.
That's the
pageantry.
word I was looking for. The pageantry. Thank you, RJ. But yeah, no, wrestling's great.
Wrestling is
But-
good for a lot of different reasons,
Yeah.
honestly. But
It is Americana, dude. It is truly American history. But anyways, back to Beyond the
Valley.
Valley.
Yeah,
before
some
we
more
go to the
American
end of that.
history.
Also, this movie is very campy. I don't know if you already said that
Yeah,
to
no,
start it
definitely,
off,
definitely.
but
it's
say that, yeah.
the ultimate campy
yeah,
movie.
you
in
were
a lot
saying
of
that a lot
ways.
during the movie. It's a very campy
I was
movie.
almost expecting a Benny Hill like chase at one point with the music. Yeah, I can't really do it right now. But yeah.
I know about this movie because it's John Waters' favorite movie of all time. And
Oh my god, the Pink Flamingo
yeah,
dude.
the Pink Flamingos guy.
Yeah.
And I've watched a lot of movies that he's recommended, and I've enjoyed them a lot. Like Showgirls is one of my favorite movies, and he recommended that movie, and I watched it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
watching this guy's movies, and yeah,
So I haven't seen any John Waters movies yet. I'm sure that's coming soon from one of Bentley's recommendations.
maybe, bye
But
bye.
as I was watching this movie, as I was watching Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, I just kept thinking, I feel like Tarantino loves this movie.
Right,
There's just so many things about it, from like the campiness to like the sexploitation,
especially if
to
you've seen
the over the top acting. I just think there's so many little things, and the violence.
yeah,
I
with
think,
the,
I
with
think
the
he loves
shoots
this movie. I
the.
have a good feeling he loves this movie.
There's a part where like Z-Man shoots Carrie,
Casey.
Casey.
Casey in the head, and
Yeah.
like her nose just sprays out with
Oh,
fucking
that was
like
Roxanne.
jelly.
No, it was
Oh,
Yeah,
Roxanne,
when he puts
right.
the gun in her mouth.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like, for some reason I was thinking, because like, oh, this is like again like in the 60s or whatever. So I was like, oh, they're probably gonna cut away from that, but no, they fully show it. And then now
Like
that we know
total
that
gore.
now that we know it's an X-rated movie, it makes a lot more sense that they did show it. But yeah, dude, like seeing like him like pull the trigger while the gun was in her mouth, and you see the blood come out her nose.
Pretty brutal, man.
And then, for everyone who hasn't seen this movie, the blood does not look like blood. It's like a bright red paint.
It's
Yeah.
Pepto Bismol.
Pepto-Bismol, yeah.
That's what it looked like to me,
I
man.
thought, dude, I just remember thinking it was like bright red paint, and I was like, there's probably lead in it still.
Right.
Like, honestly, all like that entire cast has fucking cancer.
Lead and arsenic and mercury
Yeah.
and all of that. And asbestos.
Yeah, we were a proper country back then.
No, to me, it looked literally like nail polish or something. Like it was
Yeah.
that bright of a red color.
Whatever it was, it definitely didn't look like blood by any means. And I don't know if it
Maybe
just
that's how they got away with it because it didn't
well, it was
look
already
realistic.
X-rated, so it's pretty like You can kind of do whatever you want, I think, at that point.
Yeah, it's just the Technicolor and the 4K remastering that you have, you know.
No, it's not Technicolor, dude. It's deluxe. All right,
Deluxe.
they did the color.
It was shot
totally
in
different.
Panavision.
Panavision as well.
Yeah, and for anyone,
Very Tarantino-ish.
I think we mentioned it at the beginning, but this is part of the Criterion Collection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is a
Very
movie that the
fitting.
Criterion Collection, the Film Institute, decided to be like, this movie needs to be preserved for all of cinema, essentially. Like, this movie needs to be seen by, or make sure that everyone can see it at some point.
Yeah,
And I think that's
I'm
like kind of
for it.
hilarious in a way.
yeah. I mean, this movie is a. If you want to show someone what the '60s is like, if you wanted to do like a cultural like history lesson and like what the '60s was like at the time,
What it meant to be a rock and roll hippie
Yeah.
in the 60s.
This almost seems like it was made like to make fun of the '60s. Like it was made like, you know, like Austin Powers came out in the '90s, and like he's saying, "Oh, Randy baby" or whatever, the shagadelic or
Yeah.
whatever. Like they're actually talking like this in this movie. Like back then.
Yeah, Bentley did say that
heard
our villain Z-Man sounded like Russell Brand.
Not sounded like Russell Brand,
but
but
in the way that he talked, or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the
his
words he
cadence, or-
said.
yeah,
Yeah, like
And
his
mannerisms,
lexicon.
right? Oh, lexicon. There we go.
Yeah,
That's the word.
like he spoke kind of Shakespearean-ish a little bit, like just this really fancy,
Someone did
fanciful.
call that out too, and it's like, and Z-Man
Mm-hmm.
sounds Shakespearean or whatever. I know someone said that out.
Which
one point in
Ebert
the
must
movie.
have been tapping into when he was writing Z-Man's dialogue, 'cause it's
Yeah.
very like Shakespearean, antiquated, like fanciful.
Also, Z-Man really does sound like a character from the 60s, like in the movie. Like, there's always a character. There's always somehow someone named Z-Man or something.
The Z Man, because Z was cool, bro.
Yeah.
Z's were cool.
Z-Man is the movie, all right. Z-Man is like what this movie's all about. At the end of the day, he's the plot, all right.
Dude,
He's why the
this
movie happens.
is so progressive and so inclusive
Mm-hmm.
that it gave one of cinema's first I don't
Non-binary.
know, hermaphroditic villain, trans villain.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know. We still don't even fully know.
Right, which is
I
a
don't
big
think we are
reveal.
supposed to know. Yeah,
Exactly.
That was a big reveal
Well,
at the end.
He pulls off his or her his
Yeah, I don't
hers.
even- I don't know.
Z's. Let's say
Yeah.
Z's. Z
Yeah.
pulls off Z's.
Zimzers.
Shirt and
Top,
it
yeah.
has some like titties, which could have been real or could have been like
Yeah.
hormonal maybe
I
or
just thought the tits
something
looked
or
pretty gross.
yeah,
honestly.
it was
kinda-
definitely like a prosthetic like thing.
Not that it's actually that bad, but it just reminds me of it just reminded me of like all the worst tit reveals I've ever seen in a movie or a TV show. And one that I always think about when it comes to this fucking category is
South Park.
South Park, when Mr. Garrison becomes Mrs. Garrison. And it's like they're like facing in different directions, different sizes. It's literally just like the worst tit job ever. That's kind of what Z-Man's tits reminded me of.
Big reveal at the end. He's like trying to basically rape fucking the blonde guy's
Lance.
Lance.
yeah.
Yeah, the Gigolo's
Lance Rock.
character.
Yeah.
He's not having any of it because he's like, oh, it's a dude. That's gay, man. I ain't doing that. And so he's like, yeah. But then like at the end, he somehow finds out that he's a girl. I forget why he rips off the shirt, but
Yeah, I don't remember why he does it either, but yeah, I remember for a second I thought, oh, I wonder if Lance is gonna be like, oh, you're a chick? Oh, okay, this is fine.
yeah, now it's all right. Now,
you're like I bang ugly girls all the time. Like I can bang one more ugly girl. But so for a second,
Yeah,
I thought he was
he keeps
gonna
calling
turn it
her.
around.
He keeps calling Z-Man a ugly broad.
Yeah.
He's like, you ugly broad. Ugly broad.
Like, you're a broad. You're an ugly broad. Ugly broad. And then Z-Man grabs the sword. He's
in a
like,
fit of rage,
I'm sorry. Don't kill me. Whatever. And then fucking.
gets his head slit off. Yeah,
Decapitation. Yeah.
His head got decapitated.
dilapidated, dilapidated.
Yeah.
From his body. Yeah.
Which is a great scene. His
what a
head
plot
flies
twist.
up
What a
and
plot
like,
twist.
yeah. And then
Again, surprised at the violence, because we really didn't see anything up until that point when it comes to violence. Anyways, like there was a fight scene, but it wasn't
Right.
that bad, you know. And then all of a sudden, Dude, I really thought we were gonna watch a full-on man-on-man rape scene because we see Lance's character hogtied essentially.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck, dude. And he was already in that like leopard bikini or speedo thing or whatever because he's
Right.
supposed to be like Tarzan.
It was was it
Jungle Lad.
Jungle Lad.
Which might be a real
Yeah.
thing because like the two girls who were at this party as well when all this
They were
happens.
like Batman and Robin.
Yeah, Batman and Robin. So
Yeah.
And it was Jungle Lad and Superwoman.
Jungle Lad and Superwoman.
Z-Man was Superwoman
Yeah.
and Lance was Jungle Lad.
Yeah. And
Z-Man immediately
Z's
goes
or
on
whatever.
like a school shooter rampage basically before it was cool.
Yeah, one killing led to 4 killings.
Yeah,
it went from a
basically.
murder to a killing spree relatively fast.
And you think about it, this movie must happen like right around the time that Charles Manson did his thing. So I'm wondering if like maybe that whole like drug fueled like massacre might have been
Yeah.
influenced by this because they do peyote in this movie.
yeah. Oh, for a
which
second,
leads to the
at the final party when he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna invite my closest friends or whatever, and we're gonna do this," and they're all passing the drink.
Mm-hmm.
For a second, I literally thought we were about to see like Jonestown, essentially. Like I thought he spiked the Kool-Aid, and it was just about to be like a mass suicide.
so you never trusted Z-Man.
Not towards the end.
Not
no.
towards the end.
He had a creepy look on his
Yeah.
face
He
from,
did, he
from the
did.
beginning.
Yeah.
You're just transphobic, all right? That's what that is.
I didn't trust that little like 60s British tie and suit looking thing, you know?
Because
It was like a British rock star.
in
When
the-
the monkey's haircut and
Yeah, the sideburns.
the
Yeah,
sideburns,
there we
bro.
go.
It was clear as day from the get-go.
Dude,
He was the evil
I
character.
thought he was fucking Murdoch from the Gorillas, you know? Like, if you look at the Gorillas character, or if you ever seen Teen Titans, he reminds me of Mad Mod, like the cartoon series. Oh, you guys suck. Yeah, anyone who knows what I'm talking
Mad
about,
Mod, no.
you can automatically picture what he looks like. But yeah, so in the beginning, before we knew he was, I mean, we always had a feeling that he was gay, obviously, because he's just super flamboyant.
You just
But-
think he goes both ways or something,
Or
like
yeah,
you know,
or
like
like both
Prince
ways,
or
you know,
something, you know, one of
yeah.
those guys.
Which, you know, back then, you're in Hollywood, you're a man in Hollywood or whatever, you probably did. That's on some fucking level.
David Bowie.
Yeah. And I remember just thinking, like, before he admitted that he was gay or whatever is also into dudes, I just kept thinking, like, this is what I imagine a gay vampire from the 60s look like.
Dude, all vampires are gay. Haven't you
think of
seen
what
them,
we do in the
dude?
shadows, like maybe like Nandor fucking in the 70s or something.
Right.
Yeah, that's just kind of how I kept thinking, like, this
Gay
this is
vampire.
a gay vampire from the 70s.
Yeah. That would have been a good reveal too at the end instead of being trans if he was a vampire.
vampire.
Or trans vampire.
I was waiting, dude. I was waiting for that reveal, dude.
It's funny because I'm just thinking back to when you said, Austin Powers, and he was dressed like Austin Powers.
Yeah, right. Right.
That's with the haircut and everything. He just had the sideburns.
Is that what just 70s Brits dress like? Like, that's the point, right? Like, that is Austin Powers, right?
Right,
He's
yeah.
a secret agent from the 70s.
Yes,
In
yeah.
England. So,
Like a Mighty Boosh character, maybe. Have you ever seen Mighty Boosh
Oh
before?
my
No, I
God, he
haven't.
does look
What's
like
that?
It's like a British absurdist like thing, nothing on Adult Swim.
you've definitely
It's
seen it real quick.
old
That's
Greg.
Mad Mod. Like, just like instead of red hair, give him black hair.
So that's
fucking- and that's it.
that's Z-Man.
That's Z-Man right there. But
Z-Man's a lot of people, you know.
You've definitely seen Mighty Boosh before. This is I'm old Greg, like whatever that shit is.
I don't think I have,
No,
honestly.
really?
Yeah, old
The
Greg.
guy on the left looked familiar.
He's the one on the right is kind of like the more famous.
Yeah,
one.
that's one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sorry, yeah.
It was a different picture
Yeah.
I was looking at earlier.
So, Bentley, you've seen some of the IT crowd. That's
Yeah.
that's Richmond.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the guy on the right is the guy who lives
That's
in
what,
the
no, the guy on the right's who I'm talking
Richmond.
about.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
I don't know who the guy on the left is. Julian Barrett? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he very
This is
much
great
just
for
like,
audio podcast. Us showing each other a picture.
I said we need to switch the video, which hopefully we will one day. But yeah, man, this I don't even know what to really say more about this movie.
It's kind of hard to say the plot because it's kind of a hangout movie in a lot of ways. Like it's just like not a big thing happens. It's like a bunch of people are hanging out and doing stuff, and at the end, a guy kills a bunch of people. That's kind of the movie.
90% of the movie is just partying.
Yeah,
like,
they're
it's
at a
literally
party and
it's different
socializing.
parties at the same house, like in different
Yeah.
nights or whatever.
So it's kind of a hangout movie. I would classify it as like a sort of hangout movie.
Yeah, well, not like a hangout movie, or I mean, maybe a hangout movie. But as I was watching this with you guys, I just kept thinking like, this would have been a great movie, like as a watch party. Like you watch it with a bunch of people, and
Yeah.
because the way we were kind of like roasting the movie as we were watching it. I was thinking like, oh, I kind of wish we were actually recording while we were watching this because this is
Doing a little like mystery science 3. What was it?
Mystery Science Theater 3000. Yeah, something like that, you know. Yeah, or like I know you say like that wrestling podcast. You listen
the
to,
Deadlock
right?
Boys. If you know, you know.
Yeah, I don't.
They do a watch along once a month to a wrestling.
Yeah, exactly, something like that,
or like an old movie or something.
Yeah,
But
I just thought like this would have been such a good watch party movie. Like,
Definitely.
yeah,
If you're doing like a 60s party or something, it'd be the perfect movie to put on.
just all dressed up like
Just put
Austin
it on
Powers.
repeat.
Austin Powers.
Just put the movie on repeat. Like different TVs playing it at the same time and everything too. So no matter where you go, you're watching Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. Yeah, it is. It is the 60s at its most. 60s essentially. Yeah,
Which is why I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's prime 60s for sure.
Yeah, let's not also skim over the fact that it gave us the intro sample to Smoke Two Joints.
Yes.
That whole little
Wait.
the clip where he's talking about he was living in a she was living in what
Hotel room with
2 other individuals, and you know what does he say?
No, like she
What's up
she's
now?
like a marijuana cigarettes. Reefer.
I love when he's like, I know what this is, when she's trying to give him grass or whatever, and he's like, he keeps smoking it like a pipe. He does not.
Right. That's probably one of the funnier scenes in the movie. The lawyer, who's like the stuck-up erudite guy, goes over.
She was
to
living in a
Kelly's.
single room with 3 other individuals. One of them was male, while the other 2 were female. God only knows what they were up to in there. And furthermore, Susan, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to learn that all 4 of them habitually smoked marijuana cigarettes.
Reefers.
And he'd be right.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. I was not expecting this movie
I've heard
Smoke
Two Joints so many times, and I really don't remember that being the intro.
Dude, it's
Really?
immediately when he started saying that first line, I was like, what?
Oh,
This
man,
is from
dude. I mean,
It's right after you hear this part.
Yeah.
Because I remember that, and then I remember whatever, and then. But I honestly do not remember them saying that intro part, and I've heard that song so many times. So I don't know if I just had some version of it where it didn't have it, but
No, on the actual
remember.
like CD, yeah. So I don't know, maybe like
I never had the CD. I just had like
maybe
a
the LimeWire download.
Yeah,
you
I
had.
definitely had the LimeWire. You know, it was Smoke
That's
Two
part of the
Joints
song, man.
MP3, bro, or whatever. You know.
No, I always thought that was from like Reefer Madness or something, like some old
Yeah.
anti-drug
Reefer
thing.
Madness. Dude, dude, I love when I hear marijuana cigarettes. It always makes me laugh because I'm like, it's so dated and just so funny.
Marijuana
I like
cigarettes.
jazz cigarettes more. Like,
The jazz cabbage.
Yeah, jazz cabbage.
I've heard bones before.
The devil's lettuce.
Bones for a joint. Isn't that what they call them in Adventureland, right?
Piece
In,
by-
Yeah, bones.
no, I know in Pineapple Express he
Express.
calls or he says like 10 bones more for a quarter or something. I think he's talking about money though. Like
Right, bones are
$10,
dollars.
$10,
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie is great though. I loved it.
Yeah,
Roger
yeah.
Ebert's a little fucking perv, if you ask me.
He is,
the,
man.
the fact that he like thought of all this. Never look at that man again. the same.
There was a decent amount of tits in this movie.
More than decent amount, dude.
Might have been the most since
Playmate
Showgirls.
level tits.
Yeah. This movie has a big tit count.
Yeah.
Big tit count.
I just remember thinking of what scene were we watching where we finally didn't see a pair of tits in it, and then I was like, oh, I wonder if Roger, when he like rewatched it, was like, oh man, I forgot to put tits in this fucking scene. It's like
I think it was one of the scenes where they're performing as a band or something.
Oh, like when they're at the studio?
No,
Playing
like
like
on
live.
That was
stage.
too late. Yeah, that was too late. Never
on
mind.
stage, like just performing at like
Oh,
some
okay.
event or something.
Yeah, something. It takes a while. It takes a while for us to get a scene without like any tits, because as soon as the tits starts, the tits just keep rolling, dude. Like it's nonstop tits up until like I don't even know 30 to 45 minutes into the movie. I felt like it took a long time for us to get to a scene with no tits.
Yeah, as soon as they get to California, they meet all the freaks, all the sex pervs, and at the
all
party,
the drug heads.
at the parties that they all go to, there's always just naked women dancing everywhere.
I like
God
how
bless.
I love how it's just like normal too. Like no one like except for like the old lawyer pervert dude. He's like, oh my god, like look at her. Like he doesn't say it, but he has this look on his face. But everyone else, they're just dancing. Like they don't care that chick's naked. You know. And like in every room, someone's fucking. Like that's standard Hollywood party procedure.
Yeah.
Every character in this,
he was giving Kelly Z-Man was giving Kelly a house tour, and like every single
Every
room
room,
they went into, there was somebody doing it.
There was even about almost 2 men gonna get it on or get
right,
it on,
but
whatever,
very
but they
progressive for
kinda-
the time.
yeah.
Honestly, I'm surprised like that was allowed, especially by Fox.
Well, they just got to show all of Holly weird, you know.
And they didn't show too
California,
much.
those are supposed to be the weirdos.
It was very implied. It was like they were like fully clothed still. There was like, but you could tell.
Right.
They like turned around real fast.
I thought it was funny with the whole. So we see basically the breakup between not Kelly, Carrie, right? Wait, Kelly.
Casey.
Yeah.
Casey.
No,
There's
no,
Kelsey.
no, the main one.
Or
The main
Kelsey now. Kelly.
Kelly's the
and
main
Casey.
character.
Kelly and Casey, right? So
Yes.
Kelly, yeah. So Kelly, and then God, why am I already forgetting?
Harris, the dude.
Yeah, Harris. Yeah, like they basically they like break up without actually saying it, but you know. You see that it's happening because she goes away. She goes to the party with like the David Bowie looking dude, Lance Rock, and then he finally gives in to the porn star who's been just kind of not letting him go, just letting him know that she's interested, and whatever they have sex, you know. Then you see that Kelly has sex, and I'm just like, okay, boom. I guess they're like broken up now. And then I thought it was funny that what was the porn star's name?
Ashley St. Ives.
Ashley. She
That's very porn star
she
name.
basically
Yeah, dude.
tells him to his face that like, well, she calls him a bad lay, but in reality, what she's trying to say is that he's probably gay, and that's why he could never perform or whatever,
Yeah.
perform well or whatever. And he gets fucking pissed at that point. And I thought it was because he was coming to terms that he actually might be gay, but he was
That's
just in
what I thought when I
denial about
first watched it.
So what does he do? Like he has to like overcorrect, be machismo, and then just go beat up the guy who took his girl, right? Or you
Right,
know, go
yeah,
pick
yeah.
a fight with the guy who took his girl. And I just thought it was so funny because I was like, oh, he probably just is gay. And then I guess more of the story is that no, he just never liked having sex with Ashley because he was still in love with Kelly, I guess. You
Yeah.
know, that's kind of what I just picked up from it.
Yeah, she did say that he was always stoned and he was always drunk.
Yeah, so
So,
that makes sense.
I could
yeah.
also play into it.
He's a very timid character. Like you could just see in his eyes that he's always just kind of like,
Yeah, he's definitely.
Shy
I mean, he
or
didn't fight for
something.
his girl at all until he basically gets called a homo. and
Right.
then that's when he finally decides to step up. But he just lets his girl get taken away, and I'm like, damn, dude, you. Suck. I don't know. That's just kind of how I looked at him.
yeah. And then he emos out, and while they're playing a show, like at a TV show or something, like he's up in the rafters. Somehow he gets up in the rafters while they're playing. I'm not really sure how that happens, but anyways. He just fucking like does a fucking frog splash with his swan dive
into the middle of the set to fucking kill himself on
From, like,
television.
100
That was like
in
a
the
belly
air.
flop, bro.
Yeah.
He went pretty flat.
And dude, like an airplane sound plays, like when he's falling.
That was one of the best parts of the whole movie. Is this serious scene where this man's about to kill himself because he
Yeah.
has nothing to live for anymore, and he had a fucking airplane sound and he's fucking heading to the ground.
Sound guy had a fun day that day. I bet.
Dude,
Get on the slide whistle.
that was one of my favorite fucking scenes in the whole movie, man. It was great. And then the thing is, he's not fucking dead. He's just paralyzed. Which I had a feeling that was gonna happen because I felt like I heard like a crack sound when he landed, and the way like his head bounced off. I was like, oh, he's not dead. He's just fucking paralyzed. And then next thing you see him, he's like in a wheelchair or whatever. So I was like, boom, called it.
Mm-hmm.
But
He's in a wheelchair, and like right before then, he had intercourse with Casey.
Casey,
Yeah,
yeah.
after he
Casey.
gets pissed off at what was her name? Ashley St. Ives
Yeah.
and confronts the dude screwing his girlfriend, Lance, and then gets in a fight with him. Then he leaves the party, goes to Casey's apartment.
Then day rapes her.
Apparently,
I still don't really like that whole storyline because I was like, because she's like, oh, here, take this or whatever. She gives him pills and alcohol.
she drugged him.
Yeah,
Right,
she
that's
drugged
true.
him. She's
But she
high
got
as-
mad 'cause the next
she's
day,
high as
yeah.
fuck, and then because he's like, oh, can I sleep in your bed? And it's like, sure. So they sleep together, and she gets mad. She's like, she doesn't say it, but she's like, get out, and then
It was heavily implied that like they probably did
and
it.
the way she's upset, and then later when she's telling Roxanne, right? I guess.
Yeah, she tells Roxanne that
She
she's
tells
pregnant.
Roxanne, and then
Well,
she's
I think she told Kelly and Pet first
okay.
that she was
Okay,
pregnant,
yeah.
and it was Harris.
But she
Harris's.
tells Roxanne that she's gonna keep it
Right.
because Harris is now paralyzed, and she's like, "Oh, he might never have a kid again," you know. So
Kind of a homie move,
like,
to be
I
honest.
think
It's a real homie.
bro. It was kind of like, okay. So this kind of reminds me of a story where like I had a friend she's a girl, and she was dating a guy who had testicular cancer at some point and had to get rid of I think one of his balls. But either way, he's basically sterile, right? Like he can't have kids anymore. But one day they had a pregnancy scare, and she was very like pro-choice. So I'm like, dude, like, do you think like you kind of have to keep this baby because this is like a miracle baby? And then she's like, I thought the same thing. I was like, bro, I don't know about it. It's a miracle baby, dude. Like that's kind of a rough one, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like they didn't explain that scene too well because I didn't even think they had sex.
Dude, seriously, it just seemed like they passed out next to each other.
Right, and they both woke up next to each other and they're like, "Oh shit, we just like hooked up last night, didn't we?"
And you only think they had sex once she like hits him and gets mad because she probably does that because like,
she says
had sex with
all
me.
you men are the same,
Right?
And then she's like, get out. And then later, so
There's nothing before that implies it at all.
It seems like maybe she actually doesn't think that he raped her, but she was just upset because I guess it just kind of turns out she's a lesbian. You know, she was obviously super into Roxanne and everything. So, and literally the whole movie, we don't see her interested in any guy at all. And then, you know, whatever, they hook up, she's upset about it. And then you see her like basically getting really close, like physically and emotionally with Roxanne. So I thought like, oh, maybe she was just upset that she technically just had sex with a guy and she's gay. And so she just said rape out of like, maybe like anger and frustration, but she actually doesn't think that.
There was a scene early on in the movie where they're, I think it was before they even left to California, and they're like in their tour bus or their little
thing
van,
or whatever,
their little
Smoking
van
the
they had.
doobie.
Smoking a doobie, yeah. And Kelly and Harris are making out in like the front seat, and then it looks like Casey's in the back, and she's like pissed off or jealous or something. So, but it could have been of Kelly maybe.
That's exactly. Yeah, you're right. I actually forgot about that.
But I thought it was that she was just jealous of Harris.
Okay.
And then I thought that made a little bit more sense why, like later on, they would
when
hook
she's
up.
like with like Roxanne. Right. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. No. Yeah. I'm starting to think it's more about the whole like I think she's actually gay and she's upset that she had sex with a man. Essentially,
She's just finding an excuse, I guess.
Yeah. I think she was just upset because she feels like she just kind of like betrayed herself and him. And everyone.
Plus they're probably just both wasted anyways, and both didn't even
they
really
were
like know
both
what
trash.
happened.
It seemed pretty equal. Like I was pretty like, whoa, seriously? When you know she started saying that he was a rapist. I don't know. I think she was just more upset because she's actually a lesbian and she
I could see that.
She just had sex with a man. Man, dude. So Pet, right? The scene where like because she meets a nice fella who's about to become a lawyer or whatever, and then this fucking Muhammad Ali motherfucker comes in, dude.
The
heavyweight champion.
The heavyweight champion of the world.
He was a boxer,
Yeah, and he basically looked like fucking Muhammad Ali with like with more of a fro kind of. And I was just thinking, and at the beginning I thought it was cool because like you know he's hitting on her and she tells him that she has somebody. He's like, oh, is he a brother? And he's like, he is. And he's like, all right, right on. He's like, well, I'm going to keep you whatever warm for him or some shit like that. And then they end up hooking up. And I was like, Pat, fuck you. Like, are you serious?
Right.
Like, you found a good guy.
A soon-to-be lawyer.
Soon-to-be lawyer. You just fucking throw that shit away for one night with just this, like, he is a fucking specimen of a man. Like, that dude is fucking ripped.
These kids are like 18. They're pretty young though. I mean, like you make horrible dumb decisions like
that. They were
dude,
supposed to be.
when you're young.
So many of the characters in this movie, not even just the young ones, like so many of the characters made awful decisions, and I hated them for it, honestly.
The narrator lets you know at the end all the bad decisions that were made.
Thank you, narrator.
Yeah, so if you guys miss most of the movie, you can just watch the last 2 minutes, and the narrator will tell you everything that everyone did wrong in the movie.
Whole character like flaws and everything.
Yeah.
It's almost like a parody.
I was actually really upset at. Okay, so Pet's man's name was like it starts with an E. What was it? It's like it's not Emerson.
Emerson
Thorne.
Emerson,
Yeah, Emerson
yes.
Thorne. So he finds them, after they hooked up or whatever. He like leaves, and then
I thought you were doing homework
yeah,
or something. I thought you were studying.
You said it's like the most.
said you were gonna study.
Yeah, it's the most like I just got caught cheating fucking statement ever in movies and TV shows. Like you're not supposed to be here.
You were
like,
supposed to be at work.
Yeah,
what
you're
are you
supposed to-
doing?
Yeah, like this is really your fault because I wouldn't have got caught if you didn't come home early, kind of bullshit, And then
Woman.
so Emerson leaves, and then the boxer leaves.
Randy Black.
Randy Black. He leaves and gets mad and fucking runs over fucking Emerson.
Right.
Which I was like, holy shit.
That's the funny part of the movie.
Yeah,
honestly.
and then Pat goes and like basically consoles him.
They go in a circle around the roundabout around like 3 or 4 trips with the guy on the hood of the car.
Yeah, he really hangs on for a
Yeah.
while. Good for him.
That part's great.
But yeah, and then fucking, beknownst to us, fucking Emerson takes her back. And I'm like, are you fucking serious, dude? Like,
That's where he lost my sympathy.
I know, dude. I was like, oh, you're a fucking cuck, dude. Like, I was like, yeah, dude. Exactly. Sympathy. I thought he was such a fucking cuck at that moment, man. And when when Randy comes back to try to like, I don't know, win her back, essentially, I really thought for a second he was just gonna lay down and fucking let it happen again, dude. I was like, oh, you fucking loser.
Yeah.
Dude. Like, fucking do something. Someone throw a pie, damn it. But, he stepped up. He hit him in the back with a chair. Obviously, he's not going to win that fight fairly because he is a fucking heavyweight boxer. So he's just going to lose. But yeah, I was just so mad at Emerson. I was like, oh, dude, I liked you up until now, man. Like, you got cheated on. That sucks. I'm still with you, though. But you took her back and you lost,
You ran away.
You've been voted off the island, dude, of sympathy.
He ran away and then he just took her back after like getting ran over by a car, I guess. That's basically what happened.
Just insane, dude. I was so mad at that. I was like, that sucked.
True.
That really sucked.
Yeah, at least like, I don't know, show the backhand or something for a second. just flash it. Just show them what it looks like, and then.
Yeah, I don't know. That part pissed me off. But then, so I will like to say that the final scene of the movie, which is basically Z-Man goes on this murder spree.
He has like a peyote party with the gigolo with Care.
It's
Lance,
Casey, and Roxanne.
Casey and Roxanne.
Yeah.
And they all do peyote and weird peyote.
Oh, and he also hired his bartender to play Hitler, essentially, or a Nazi.
Some Nazi.
Yeah, just a Nazi.
He had like on an SS uniform or something, a Nazi uniform.
Yeah.
And then basically Z-Man tries to seduce Jungle Lad while he's dressed up as like a guy in a Speedo.
He's in a leopard
leotard.
Speedo, and that's it. Nothing but a leopard Speedo.
And like he's not having any of it, honestly. And then so Z-Man just ties him up, hog ties him, and throws him on the floor.
Yeah.
Well,
I really thought he was just gonna. I mean, not just rape him, but I was like, oh fuck, like we're about to watch a fucking rape scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then Z-Man,
Deliverance,
or not Z-Man, Deliverance. Fucking Lance, being Lance, just starts like laughing in Z's face, and then goes like, "You're a broad." Oh, you're an ugly broad. You're just an ugly broad. And then you see that's when fucking Z snaps and just grabs Excalibur.
Dude,
fucking slices his fucking head
slices
off.
His head off?
In one fucking chop, dude. That's pretty impressive, actually, if you think about it.
And then the 20th Century Fox theme plays when he does it.
Does it really?
Yeah, you didn't notice that?
Oh, I guess I didn't. Oh,
it
does. I didn't even fucking realize that's the 20th century
That was
anymore.
the 20th Century Fox theme.
Holy shit, you're right. Damn, I didn't even fucking think about that.
I love that part.
But yeah, so he fucking chops off his head. Casey witnesses the whole thing, so she runs away. And then the bartender / Nazi, he also witnesses it. And
God.
Z's like,
That was
oh my god.
That was a great scene. He walks in the room, and then you just see Z-Man like in one hand holding the head, and then like tits out. And then, and then in the other hand, the big like sword,
like fucking He-Man in the Master Sword. Right? I have the power.
Yeah,
it's like Nazi
then,
kid. No, I'm kidding. He doesn't say that.
Otto, the bartender / Nazi,
there we go. Yeah,
takes off, running out of the house as well, and Z-Man chases after him with the sword.
Still
Sword of
sword in hand,
Excalibur.
yep.
Tits out still.
catches him in the beach. He like trips and falls over, and you think a fat man would running on the beach would, like just like oh, and then he's like in the water, and then just fucking just fucking stabbing
him for the $6 million nonetheless.
Yeah. Yeah.
He mentions the 6 million.
Yeah. Of course he does.
You beg for mercy after like 6 million innocent lives were taken.
Something
like that.
I think what happened is just Z-Man just freaked out. I think like they were all on DMT. The rejection probably just made something snap in his brain. He just got on a murderous rampage.
I don't think he's murdered anyone before that.
Right.
So I think that set him off. And then
I think he's just going nuts.
And then I think it was a mix of the drugs and then him also like, well, I need to kill the witnesses now. So anyone who's here, I just need to get rid of. Which thankfully wasn't a lot of people.
So?
It was only 3 other people. So.
Or was he just going crazy? He was like Charles Manson style, like wanting to kill everybody.
It definitely seems like a mixture. Yeah. So he goes back.
I can see that.
He goes back into the house, finds.
He grabs his gun.
Grabs his gun first, and he sees Casey or Roxanne.
No, Roxanne, asleep,
naked, tits out, just asleep, and he fucking shoves his gun in her mouth. And dude, I felt like she was opening her mouth like she thought she was about to like suck a dick or something like that. Or like the way he was like putting it in, and she just kind of naturally started opening it. I'm like,
yeah, she was asleep for a long time with a gun in her mouth.
Asleep, dude. Like that's kind of weird. But then so he like shoves it in. She wakes up, notices what it is, kind of screams with a mouthful of fucking muzzle,
and
bang, then, boom, bang, fucking blood out the nose like it's fucking milk or something, you know. And I was like. I just thought that shit was funny, honestly. The bright red blood is so funny when you see it.
Yeah, the special effects on that were pretty funny.
And then Casey gets a hold of a phone, calls her friends to tell her what's going on.
Like
it's like a beach house or like a guest house somewhere in the back. Yeah,
right. And that's where like Pet and her boyfriend, I think.
Yeah, she calls Kelly essentially. Yeah, she calls Kelly to tell her like Z's going crazy. He's murdered everybody. He's whatever chopping off heads. And they're like, what? What are you talking about? But fucking
Z-Man is on the line.
Yeah, he's on
in the main house, and hears the whole conversation go down.
Here's the whole thing, and then Harris in the wheelchair still, by the way. He like grabs the phone because I guess he realizes how serious it is. He's like, "We're on the way," and then
all right, guys, take me.
Dude, immediately I was like, "Surely you don't mean you, right? Because unless we can throw you into the car in 5 seconds, there's no reason we should be fucking taking you here." And then I was like, I'm also pretty sure there's stairs in this house. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, what the fuck are you realistically gonna do?
Right. When they pull up to Z-Man's house, everybody jumps out of the car to like run inside the house to try to save Casey. And then Harris is just like, "Hey guys, help me!" Like he's still stuck in the car. He can't go anywhere. He can't do anything without his wheelchair.
Yeah. And then he eventually does get out of the car with his wheelchair somehow. I don't even know how the fuck that happens. And that was funny because I was thinking, I was like, wait, isn't there steps leading into the front door? Like, what's he gonna do?
Right.
But then thankfully,
guys, this movie's progressive. It's more, you guys are ableist, and this movie's progressive. So
it's very progressive.
It's not ableist like that.
And thankfully, the fight comes outside to where Harris is at, so he gets to be part of the battle. So that's great writing right there. And then, and then before that, Z unfortunately does kill Casey. Just fucking headshot, essentially.
Worst part of the movie.
Yeah, I was really hoping she was gonna live, but I mean that's what I get for having a character I wanted to live. That's just asking for them to die, essentially. And yeah, so the fight comes outside. Whatever, they're all fighting kind of over the gun. I don't know how I know it's like 2 women and a man couldn't overpower this Zimzer, whatever the fuck.
This Z person.
Yeah, the Z person,
man.
but they couldn't. And then so eventually they like get knocked down, all of them, including Harris in his fucking wheelchair. They're all fighting for the gun, and then bang, fucking Z is no more. He gets taken out. But what do we see? A glimmer of hope. We see a twitch of the toes.
Twitch of the toes.
Twitch of the toes.
Harris can feel his speed again by some miracle.
Oh my god.
It's a beautiful thing.
Like Christopher Reeves when he started sucking fucking baby fetuses for the whatever the word that starts with an S. I can think of
Stem cells.
Stem cells. There we go. He could walk. Like like it cuts away to like them driving away in a Corvette. I don't know whose Corvette that was, but that shit was fucking sick. And then they go into a field, and you see Harris like in those crutches. Think of
They're hand in hand.
Think of Walt Jr. from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Like he's in those like crutches.
Hand crutches or something.
Or if you know Jimmy from fucking South Park, like those are the crutches he's rocking.
Tiny Tim.
Yeah,
Classics.
But it's so funny because when you see Harris walking with the crutches, you can tell he actually didn't practice what it meant to walk with the crutches. He's literally just walking like he normally would and moving the crutches at the same time, essentially.
Yeah, he's almost walking like he was using like actual crutches that go under your armpits.
Oh, like when you like break a leg or something?
Yeah, because he's doing both crutches at one time.
Yeah.
And then he's like taking a couple steps and then
instead of using the crutches as legs, essentially, yeah.
Yeah, there's like no weight to his
funny, dude.
thing, yeah.
I felt like they just threw that scene at the end. And they're like, oh, you know what would be a great shot? Like, he's not just walking, but he's still in rehabilitation and he has the hand crutches or whatever. But they definitely didn't give him enough time to train with the fucking hand crutches.
Hey, but he made it over that little stream.
Bro, that shit was fucking cool and you know it.
Yeah, he was doing some extreme physical therapy. He was...
Yeah, he crossed a little stream where there was like, probably even thinner than a 2x4.
Yeah, it was like a little plank looking thing,
twig.
you know?
Bro, why the fuck would you make Walt Jr. cross a fucking plank across the stream, dude? That shit was fucking insane, man. Kelly just has a fucking sick sense of humor. I'm really convinced of that.
I'm still pro Kelly, honestly. I know I'm 2-1 here, but I'm glad she lived at the end.
She was just my favorite. Casey was just my favorite. She's the hottest one. But yeah, Kelly was cool. She just didn't blink, and that really freaked me out.
And her accent was kind of weird.
She had like this British accent, but it kept fading in and out. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, she is English.
She is English.
But she played like an American.
Isn't supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, it just kept fading, and it was so funny. But yeah, I mean that was basically the end of the movie.
Pretty much. There's a scene where she gets an abortion, or Casey does.
No, she doesn't get the abortion.
Oh yeah, I thought she does go through it with the abortion.
I think she actually does.
Oh, she does.
I'm pretty sure she goes through with an abortion. But
it shows her afterward with Roxanne, like laying out in the field, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I couldn't have done it without you, or like I need you like now more than ever, or something."
Oh, see, the way I was interpreting that, because at first she's feeling her stomach, so I was just like, "Oh, she's still pregnant," and then she feels her boob, like and then they get it on. So
and
I thought because she was feeling her stomach at first, she was saying that that she's gonna be there for the baby essentially, and that's why she's like, because she obviously doesn't want to be with Harris, so she's like, I'm gonna need you now more than ever. So I thought it's because she still has the baby. But
either way, the baby died.
I did zone out when she's first talking about it with Roxanne in the office, or when they go to the doctors and. Because remember, she screams when she sees the stirrups and the doctor.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it cuts to like a different scene with other people.
So that's why I think like maybe she didn't go through with it because she was really fucking freaking out in that doctor's office. But maybe I don't know. Maybe it's up for interpretation. But
yeah, it definitely shows like more of a '60s view of abortion, where it's like I'm not even sure if it was like a legal practice that they were at or anything, and it was very like shady almost, like her going in to do it.
They were performed by like real doctors, but it was pretty like. If you had a reputation, like a public reputation of being a doctor who does abortions, you were basically like shunned and frowned upon because that like wasn't okay. But there was doctors who did it because, for whatever moral reasons, money reasons, whatever they thought was right or wrong. But yeah, like you didn't want to be known openly as a doctor who did abortions. It was still pretty like frowned upon. But yeah, I mean,
it was. I thought that part was kind of like. Interesting because nowadays it'd be like it's so like not that big of a deal, but it was in this movie they definitely make it pretty intense, I guess.
Yeah, abortion is pretty I guess depending on who you ask, but yeah.
Right.
All right, so this movie, who is this movie for?
Gays.
Okay.
Trans. Zimzers. It's for the non-binary community. Anybody who likes campy, for sure, that's probably the number one thing.
If you like great music, soap opera level acting, and tits,
yeah.
I think this movie's for you. If you like all of those categories or 1 to 2 of those categories, I honestly think you should watch this movie. It's a genuinely entertaining movie from beginning to end. Like I was never bored, and I mean,
really. I feel like some of the party scenes.
I don't think I was ever bored.
Going a little long,
Like,
but
there were some scenes that I didn't care for, but I don't know if I was bored. And if it wasn't very long. It was kind of over before you know it.
I almost feel like if this movie was made now, it would be an A24 movie.
Oh, 100%.
It would be like a horror comedy almost.
Yeah.
Because of the way this movie ends, you know?
they make it really uncomfortable.
Who
probably,
now?
like,
Very satirical.
Who
and
now
like,
would you think would direct this movie?
I feel like it would be who's the Ari Aster? Is he the
Ari Aster, yeah, the A24 guy, the Midsummer,
Midsummer? Yeah, I feel like it would probably be him.
Hereditary, Those Afraid.
Either him or the guy who
that.
did the witch, the Vivitch.
Okay.
whatever.
I was thinking of the guy who did Under the Silver Lake. Honestly, if he did more comedies, like this is kind of what it would be.
I don't even remember who did that one.
I don't know either, honestly. But yeah, man, I don't know, but like I think bottom line at the end of the day, this movie's just entertaining. Like it's funny, it's dramatic, beautiful fucking women everywhere.
Very colorful.
Very
If you like
shine
bright,
Panavision.
if you're a 2-year-old toddler and you like bright, shiny colors and boobies, because that's where the milk comes from.
Yeah.
Babies probably like this movie too.
Probably like the best collection of fucking breast I've ever seen in a single movie.
Yeah, dude.
Like the casting for this literally must have been just like the Playboy Mansion. And again, either these girls had the best plastic surgeons in the world, or they're just natural because so many of them just seem like natural. And we've seen fucking tits from the 60s, and when they were plastic, it looked pretty bad and obvious. And I don't know. I just remember kept thinking that. I was like, these must be natural because there's no way they found a doctor that good at this fucking point.
Either way, God bless.
God bless.
God
God
bless.
bless America.
A good movie about sleazy LA culture as well. It doesn't really hold back any punches.
A cautionary tale of going to Hollywood to try to make it. Don't do it, essentially, is the story.
How long until TikTok revives this movie and brings it into the public consciousness, Emilio? Our fellow TikTok expert.
They're going to see that black body scene and then be like, no, never mind, cancel this movie. Like,
It's not blackface.
No, it's black body.
It's reverse blackface. Yeah, her face is white.
Well, it's not reverse blackface. It's black body.
Yeah, it's black body.
Yeah.
But yeah, her face is white, so it's like she's right here. She looks like Edward Scissorhands on the cover a little bit. But yeah,
it's proven a point that she's not doing blackface.
She's black body.
she was like a biker thing or something. I don't even know.
She was-
what.
I think she was supposed to be like a walking art piece or something.
walking
You know,
art
like
piece.
she like
And a
Yeah.
waitress too.
yeah, tits out also. More great tits.
Yeah. she was thick. All right, guys. Final thoughts on this film. Oh wait, movie or film?
I'd say movie, honestly.
movie, yeah.
Movie.
It's a boob movie. Like it's a booby flick.
boobie.
Yeah,
It's a
booby.
boobie.
It's schlock.
It's titillating.
It's boob
Titillating.
tube.
It's titillating.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way I could describe it.
Titillating, yes.
I love this movie. This is the third time I've seen it. It's always very funny. Always makes me laugh. Always like
Yeah,
love
mine and
the
RJ's
ending.
first, and it was great.
The characters are all pretty funny. Like I don't know.
Pretty memorable. I mean,
Yeah. Z-Man is like one of my favorite like movie characters that nobody ever will know
Finally,
about.
some villain representation in the LGBTQ plus whatever community.
Yeah, dude, we'll have to see if he shows up on a Watch Mojo list or something somewhere.
It'll be on Miss Mojo.
But no, honestly, super good. Like just, it's a very funny movie.
Yeah, man. It's just again the best way I can describe it is enjoyable. Honestly.
Makes me want to watch more Russ Meyer movies.
Yeah, I do wonder if they're all kind of on this level or like they.
More exploitation style
Yeah,
movies.
like I don't mind this exploitation as long as it's still entertaining. and
Right,
funny.
yeah.
Like I mean, I liked it as much as the next guy, but I'm not gonna watch an hour 45 just of like girls running around a fucking pool or whatever.
Right.
You know?
The man knows how to name a movie, honestly. Like Faster Kill Pussycat or Super Vixens or Beyond the Valley Dolls. Like he knows how to name a good movie, in my opinion.
All right, for sure. I will also like to say I don't know what I would rate this movie as of now, like just off the top of my head.
I have a hard one to rate.
I'd probably it is hard to rate, but in terms of enjoyability, man, it's pretty up there. But I don't know why my gut just keeps going with like it's a solid 8. Right? I just genuinely enjoyed this movie from beginning.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm gonna give it an 8 in enjoyability. If we want to talk about like editing, cinematography, and all that, that's a whole other conversation and not an 8.
Nah, just give it what you like.
Yeah, but in terms of enjoyability or how much I enjoyed it,
if you're gonna start your own Rotten Tomatoes tomorrow, and it's gonna be the Emilio meter.
Yeah, I have a Letterboxd account, guys. It's Proposition JoJo. Follow me on Letterboxd, and I'm gonna be reviewing this movie pretty soon. But yeah, straight up enjoyability, I'm gonna give it a solid.
Letterboxd. We should all make Letterboxd accounts, huh?
I was thinking we should make a Letterboxd for this,
for the podcast.
Yeah,
there you go.
And do a team rating, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good idea.
I'm gonna, since it's a Roger Ebert film, I'm gonna give it a Roger Ebert score.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it 3 out of 4 stars.
3 out of 4 stars.
3 out of 4. I'll give it a 2 out of 10 and an 8 out of 10. Just kidding. No, it's like it's in a league of its own. There's no other movie like it. It's just wild and zany, and just I don't know how serious.
It does make me wish that there's more movies like this. So
yeah,
that's kind of high. Like that's honestly like a high praise. Like not saying that my praise should be high. Just saying like if I say that about your movie, where like I want more movies like this. I mean that's a pretty good compliment.
Like
is all I'm saying.
When they made this movie, they're trying to make a movie that like signified the 60s. It'd be so hard to make a movie that signified the 20s, which is when we live now, you know? So, like...
It'd all be like Skibbity Toilet Riz.
Yeah, Skibbity Toilet, Ohio Riz. Rizzler. Yeah. Boom or Doom. Yeah. Is this movie a boom or a doom, guys?
All brim, no cap.
But, no, this is probably my favorite movie of the 60s, honestly.
I'd have to think about what movies from the 60s we've seen, but it's a great one, for sure.
And, yeah, sleazy, cheesy, and good.
Excellent. All right, guys, this has been 3 Hacks in a Movie. I have been Emilio.
I'm Bentley.
And I'm RJ.
All right, have a good night, y'all.